I'm pretty lucky if you think about it. I've got to do what I wanted to do all my adult life, which most people can't say. I've never had a job that I didn't like. You know what I mean? So this, for us, when we started our own business actually in '83, and I was on the road from '83 to '93, and then '93 we opened Texas, and then in 2004 Heidi and I moved it to Oregon. And, you know, prior to that, being a policeman, I didn't mind at all. My dad was a cop, and my brother was a cop, and my uncle was a cop. So when I came back from Vietnam, it was just appropriate they did it. So I've been very fortunate that people support us over the years. You know, we have a real high return rate, and it's like you, we're not dumping ourselves on the chest or being braggarts.
You're just talking about what you do.
Yeah, we actually, you know, care about people. I'm not taking the planet to raise. Don't get me wrong, okay? But I care about the people that we have, and, you know, if they put an interest in what they're doing, then, you know, we try to support that, and I think it works in both directions.
You remember the old series, The Guns of Will Summit?
Actually,
with Walter Brennan?
I don't remember, sorry.
There's an old program called The Guns of Will Summit, and it starred Walter Brennan. And you had Walter Brennan and his grandson. I don't remember who played the grandson.
Right.
But Walter Brennan used to say, no brag, just fact.
Right. Yeah. Well,
what does it cost to train at Thunder Ranch?
I'll let you talk to the money department.
The money department. It's basically all our classes are in 3-day format, Charles. They run this year Wednesday to Friday. Next year we're changing it to Thursday through Saturday to kind of help with the work week. $880 for a 3-day class. And it's a $500 deposit, and the balance is due the last day of class.
Gee, $880 to learn something that's a lifelong skill to save your life sounds awfully cheap.
I think
it's only lifelong, though. It's only lifelong. Remember that it's perishable. So I always tell my students, remember that you come to school to learn, to be nurtured, to guide, you know, to give guidance. When you leave, that's when it actually comes to the surface that you go home and practice. Because, you know, if you come to school and gave us $800 or $8,000, but you don't touch the gun or practice or think the process through, you know, like the idea, I always like when people go, well, you know, I thought there was somebody in my house, so I cleared my house. Well, one, bad idea to clear your house, but okay, we'll go with the fact that maybe you have children at the other end and we need to do it. But why would you do it the first time when you think someone's in your house? Why wouldn't you do it 100 times between now and the end of the year? You don't even need a gun. Just walk through the house and where's a dark spot that I could put a light? Where could I put a decorative mirror that helps me clear a blind corner? So that's the whole process, is to think it through prior. I have a saying, when you're on your back in the Walmart parking lot getting your guts kicked out of your mouth, it's a really hard time to acquire new skills. So you kind of have to think about it. So we try to give them that guidance. You know, we try to make adaptations to help each person, because everyone is different. You know, and different people learn in different ways. But ultimately, in the end, you know, I always tell them, good, we did what you wanted us to do, hopefully. Now you need to go home and practice it, because it will go away if you don't practice it.
I tell people that they can do as much or more good practice with no ammunition in the room and their defensive tool in their hand against something that wouldn't matter if it got hit with a round.
Right. And a lot of people disagree with this, okay, but I am a strong supporter, very staunch, especially in the last couple of years, about getting a plastic gun that's comparable to the gun that you have. You can practice. And I'm 99.9% sure they won't blow a hole through their house or through their leg.
Well, you know, those airsoft pellets can be pretty potent.
Yeah, and so, you know, they use these things to develop and nurture, like, drawing skills, or the idea that maybe someone's a little older and they might, you know, want to fight from, you know, the ground, or just simple things like the manipulation of the gun to a doorway. And people go, well, you don't cycle the action, you can't twist the trigger. You got me there. Boy, dang, you outsmarted me. Except you also won't blow a hole through your house.
Yep.
And then, you know, think of all the people that you know that have guns that have what we would call accident, negligent, you pick the word, discharge.
Right.
You know, in a class of 10 people, usually half the class has set a gun off sometime when they didn't think they were supposed to.
Well, I'd like to tell you that I've never had an injury.
Well, I'd like to tell you, too, but we'll both be telling a whopper.
Yep.
You know, the key is did we learn something from the experience? And one of the things that I learned is, less for the new people, create a safer environment for them to learn and get gun handling skills. You know, I mean, there's no cure for stupid, but, ignorance is okay because we can cure that with education. We take people and guide them, okay, great, here's the way to do that. So.
Well, I will tell you that none of the couple that I've had have ever even come close to damaging anybody, but there were a couple of drywall spackling incidents that probably should go unreported. Stand by for just a little bit. We got our first break coming up. Imagine that this is your daughter.
What do you want?
Now you get to decide how this scene ends. Or...
Stop, Earl! Stop!
Some misinformed people want to take away your daughter's choice between rape and self-defense. We're pro-choice on self-defense. Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership. JPFO.org. Swap Shop Train. John, you're live on a Swap Shop.
We have a grandmother's clock, a for sale, very similar in appearance to a grandfather's clock, but it's not as big.
But instead of chiming, it nags?
Yeah, there you go.
Swap Shop, this Sunday from 9 to noon, there'll be a live remote at Swanson's Furniture, 4826 East Speedway. Free coffee and donuts. Come on by and bring something to sell. Sunday, 9 to noon.